Makes some good points.
Yeah, you know it's not Hemingway when we have up here at the top 18th century. So you got a writer coming here from 1700s. Some people I do think kind of psych themselves out a little bit when they see the date of it. This is going to be an old passage, therefore I'm not going to understand it. Questions are going to be difficult. Vocabulary gets a little tricky maybe in some places when it comes to triumph and felicity. Elysian getting used over here. The smile of alacrity disappears. Those might be some terms that kind of throw people off just a little bit with it. What is the main thing that he is looking at, topic-wise? Because it's an excerpt of an essay. It's not a whole entire thing. Jordan?
Is it not like planning things, like developing ideas is like better in terms of like making people happy than planning or like acting rather things that like disappoint people?
Yeah, there's a difference between the whole planning preparation where everything seems wonderful and then the actual carrying out of it. Lately, I've been mentioning this more and more in class because the time is getting sooner and sooner and sooner. It's not the AP exam. I'm not worried about your trials and tribulations.
Oh my god.
Kitchen renovation. No, it's not.
It's expensive.
I'm not even worried about that part. I'm worried about the actual doing it part.
Oh, were you doing it?
Yeah. That's how you save money. So, who's having fun with the planning and preparation?
You.
Yes. Big smile on her face lately. Who's dreading it? This guy. And so, yes, that's a great idea. Oh, no, I don't like that idea. You can do it. It's just a lot of...
Yeah,
Get all of your classes. That would literally
you can just like the entire class.
There's no way I'm going to put Jack anywhere near structural supports in my house. Do you know what a truss is? Do you know what a truss is, Jack? And a collar tie? Yeah, I'm not having it anywhere near. And based on actually something that Jordan was telling us so far as overall content, you take a look at the last question, 55. You get this one right, you're in a pretty good position of maybe figuring it out. If we get this one wrong, then it could be a little bit tougher. The principal contrast. So the main thing that we are looking at throughout the passage would be between what two entities? It would be the planning and the acting. So that's the last question, and not that I would expect you to go to number 55 and start there and work your way backwards. But if you did get 55 right, it's a good sign that, okay, maybe some of this other stuff's going to fall into place. If 55 did not go correctly, then that would mean the general main concept that Samuel Johnson, this is the guy who did the debtor's prison passage that we did months ago, and there was something else of his that we were looking at, I forget, but another AP thing. If that part didn't resonate, then the overall passage just did not quite make sense. And again, if you are struggling with the passage, because if you can read it effectively and understand, your chances of things going well rise, exponentially, or geometrically, as our one college essay mentioned. If you give yourself little notes and ideas, you probably have a better chance of understanding taking place. So 44, use of impatient of is best interpreted as meaning. I'm guessing we're going to have two answers coming up. E being one. D and E are usually what people fight between. Why are we going to go E over D? Or D over E?
It says the emptiness of human enjoyment and something satisfied with, and I think those
So you're emptiness, you're aligning with not being satisfied. Okay. And I think if you throw in also along with those neglect, I think disgust, it's not anxiousness, it's not being worried that someone is going to have issues with, but it is total unsatisfaction. So yeah, the answer for that one is going to be E.
Oh, nice.
1 for 1, you drop your pencil, you walk away, you're batting 1,000.
Oh, 2 for 2.
Well, true, we already did 55, so there you go.
It's a lot of fun.
Second sentence.
If you got one more right, you're Greek epigrams.
So we're starting here. Attainment is followed by neglect, and possession by disgust, and the malicious remark of the Greek epigrammist on marriage may be applied to every other course of life, that its 2 days of happiness are the first and the last. Don't use that when you get married. This is one of the 2 best days of our lives, honey. Today and the last day. I don't recommend.
And one more.
I want a boat. I want a boat. I want a boat.
Like a yacht.
I don't need a yacht. I want a boat.
How big? Just
But my friend who has a boat or had a boat said the 2 best days are the day that you buy the boat and the day that you sell the boat.
Yeah.
So, no boat.
Just gotta just rent it for 2 days.
Where are we going?
Oh,
45. Here,
Do.
C, 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 C. And then building off that remark that we have, that the 2 days of happiness are the first and the last with number 46. Would you view this as cynical commentary, dispassionate analysis, bitter accusation, ironic advice, gentle humor? You're going A. You're going C.
We are crushed.
I had E because I thought it was funny. I knew it wasn't right. It's not very
Jack, I would. Bitter, you can, like, depending on the circumstances, you could say bitter. The accusation part I would have a tough time going with. We're more of commentary on general ideas. Because keep in mind, listen up. For commentary, if you're going to use the marriage example, it's commentary on just life in general. So this isn't focused on marriage itself. The overall essay, because this is just a portion of it, it's like the middle third, it's actually about actors who stay on stage too long in their careers, where it's time to get off stage and let the younger people take over. And not that you would be expected to figure that out with it, but it's just an overall commentary on life in general, not specifically something that's geared towards marriage. If the whole thing were towards marriage, then you might kind of start getting some accusation taking place, but using that as example for overall commentary, definitely in a more negative, cynical light would be pretty appropriate with that. The phrase Elysian prospects suggests.
I know that word.
I was gonna say, does anyone know Elysian?
Yes. Solid cup. I don't know.
Halfway up. Olivia, you're good with this one? So like a positive connotation coming from it.
Yeah, they're like the 3 levels of the underworld. Yeah.
I just guessed E, Mr. King.
Felicity, triumph and felicity basically would be triumph and happiness. And then down here, like blissful. So it's still that positive connotation would be a pretty good synonym. And you take a look at the sentence that it's in, even if you're unsure about what Elysian would mean, while preparations are made, materials accumulated, day glides after day. Glides, you're getting kind of a positive, nice little wispy connotation through Elysian prospects, and the heart dances to the song of hope. So if you were dealing with something negative, it wouldn't make sense that the heart is going to be dancing to the song of hope. So we certainly are getting some kind of positive connotation taken with it. And again, blissful would be a pretty good synonym for it. What are we thinking? Got E, sublime.
It's like the
Pleasures of planning.
But the sublime.
And since we already answered this question, the pleasures of planning certainly would match up with what we already were saying over here for 55. And then it's the whole horrors and reality of the actions that would be taking place. So having that positive connotation about planning certainly would seem to make sense within the direction that the passage is going to be going. 48. We got two groups of people here that are getting mentioned. In line 19, we have these many, and then down in line 24, the others get mentioned. So, such is the pleasure of projecting that many, so that first group, content themselves with a succession of visionary schemes and wear out their allotted time in the calm amusement of contriving what they never attempt or hope to execute. So what do the many accomplish? Nothing. I mean, yeah, there could be some dreams taking place, but so far as acting something out, they never attempt, or it's even possible that they don't even hope to execute. That second group, not able to feast their imagination with pure ideas, advance somewhat nearer to the grossness of action, with greater diligence collect whatever is requisite to their design, and after 1,000 researches and consultations are snatched away by death as they stand, and I'm going to butcher this, in precinctu, waiting for a proper opportunity to begin, where arms are ready to go. What do they accomplish? They don't really accomplish anything either. How come? They're snatched away by death. They hope to do something, but they simply run out of time. So you have one group that, hey, we're never going to attempt. Another one, they never really kind of get the opportunity. What do we therefore have? A. Hadi. They are certainly probably positive in like the whole planning part, maybe. But it's still you're making an inference with it because you don't really know. I would say you get a more direct. They do not intend to act based on what that last line is giving us. They never attempt or hope to execute. While the other ones, they want to do something, but it takes so long for them to figure out what they're going to do that death snatches that opportunity away. A ends up being our answer for 48. And then we get a lot of time taking a look at really like this last paragraph here with lines 31 going to 41 up here at the top. If there were no other end of life than to find some adequate solace for every day, I know not whether any condition could be preferred to that of the man, and the question about this guy is going to come back, who involves himself in his own thoughts and never suffers experience to show him the vanity of speculation. For no sooner are notions reduced to practice than tranquility and confidence forsake the breast. Every day brings its task, and often without bringing abilities to perform it. Difficulties embarrass. Start highlighting this part. Uncertainty perplexes, opposition retards, censure exasperates, or neglect depresses. So you feel good while you think, and then what happens? You start to do it, and things fall apart would be a pretty apt description of that. So taking a look then at 49, which would best express the meaning of those lines?
I went with A, but I feel like the although difficult part should have been way better. Like it was like although life can be rewarding sometimes, life is really difficult. That would have been way better.
It's not A.
Yeah, it's
Not
not.
A.
I have to stay in this class.
B. Here's some B's. It's B.
I only missed one.
That was a
Yeah. More pleasing to dream and imagine than to put ideas into action. And you take a look where you find solace, so you're going to end up finding happiness involved in his own thoughts. So you're not dealing with anything that has actually happened, but still with thoughts that would be going on in a person's mind. Suffers to experience him the vanity of speculation. No sooner are they reduced to practice than all these bad things start to happen. Tranquility, peace, confidence, forsake, leave the breast, and every day now brings all of these kind of difficult emotions, ideas, and things taking place. So things are good while it's in your head. It's more pleasing to dream and imagine than to put the ideas into action. And again, you take a look at what we said over here for 55. We're looking at the contrast between planning and action. That would certainly fall into that overall category. The man, who we just kind of highlighted, discussed in lines 33 to 36. So the one where, again, you're dreaming about it, things are good, then you try to act upon it, things might not work out so well. Which group or person would he most be similar to? We got a B?
B.
Okay. And B we've already heard about because we were taking a look at that group over here, the many and the others. The many are the ones who do not really intend to act because the emotions seem to be, the planning, the preparation seems so much better than what the reality ends up being, and that would fall in with our man that we have there.
Ray, you're so perfect.
I don't believe you.
I'm.
Tell me that Jack's like Alfred.
Ray gets questions right and you question him.
Wait,
Yeah,
Ray.
Press him here.
That's almost right.
Ben, you better not come with me.
Ray, what'd you do for 51?
Yeah, 51 was kind of hard.
I got. You got the right answer.
E?
Yeah.
E is not the right answer.
Is it D?
D.
D as in B.
I said B.
I said B.
No!
No!
I'm still going.
You weren't
Notions reduced to practice, tranquility and confidence forsake or leave. So those emotions disappear. Now you have all those other things coming in. If your confidence is gone, people become more anxious and insecure. Now this one's a little bit kind of a syntax, diction, structure question. Which of the following best describes the effect of the series of lines in 39 to 41? So this would be difficulties embarrass, uncertainty perplexes, opposition retards, censure exasperates, or neglect depresses.
Parallelism.
See, that was a stupid answer. Why did I put B?
So B. As in
And
So the parallelism, the parallel structure.
It was
So 52E. Coming down the backstretch.
I'm probably.
Lines 41 to 43 can best be described as. So this is coming off of, here, we'll just kind of jump to this to the page, take a look at it. So we've already looked at all this part. We proceed because we have begun. We complete our design that the labor already spent may not be in vain. So in layman's terms, what is he saying about what we do? Why do we do things? Because you were doing this last night.
Don't want it to be for nothing.
You did 38 drafts on the revision assistant trying to get that 16 out of 16. You're stuck at 15 out of 16. Or 8. Or 4. Or 1. No, we ain't getting this. But you proceed because you've already begun. We complete our design. The labor may not be spent in vain. You've already put a lot of time into something. So people complete it simply because you feel the need that you are supposed to do it based on the amount of time that you have put in. We do something because we feel that we are supposed to, so that it cannot be in vain. If you are lauding someone, what are you doing? You're praising them.
It's
Great job, people! You do stuff because you feel like you're supposed to. Well done.
Yes.
I got it right. It's not
We don't do stuff because we're good at it. We do stuff because we feel we're supposed to, and it would be a waste of time of all the other stuff we already spent and did if we didn't actually do it. So
I couldn't.
Sounds like you need to dream.
turn in revision assistant, I guess. I'm supposed to.
It started giving me because it's the fact that I needed to change, and I go, okay.
Voice of the passage. So you're dealing with the tone.
I have no clue, but I want to C.
So you're at C. Luke, what'd you change it to? Luke, you said you're at C?
I was at C and then I switched it.
Okay, so you went to B. Alright. Strident. Anyone know a definition for strident? Strident. Harsh. Criticism.
Trident. It's like a mix between trident.
Strident means harsh criticism. Colloquial means it's going to be informal speech, everyday speech to formal expression. Speculative, maybe some ideas to an emphatic, ooh, now I figured it out. Cautiousness about making assertions and generalizations, or it conveys a sense of confidence and authority with what the speaker's trying to say. Speaker's tone. You're not looking at the argument, you're looking at the overall tone, speaker's voice. Is pretty, hey, this is the way it is, this is the things that people do. It's authoritative and confident.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, that one was good.
And only 7 out of 12.
Out you go. So, 6 out of 12 is still passing, because that's right at that 50% mark. So, and again, it's not that we can, hey, if you got a 50% on this one, that's going to compute to 65 or 70 on the others. But I would say that on the degree of difficulty, this passage is going to be more on that. Let's just start with the other passages that might be a little bit more relatable and kind of attainable to the things that you've already read and understood. Probably going to be in a better position. If you're getting a 12 out of 12, then we're kicking you out. 6 out of 12 would be 3, 8 would be 4, 9 would definitely be a 5, because you would be at 75%, so that would certainly be in 5 territory. And anything on top of that,